Oh, what's up, guys? 65 Lokes here, back to another episode, number 238. Driving, cruising, racing, commuting, whatever you want to call it. But I am headed out right now. I always trip out every time when I hit record and I take off. Just to cut through the city, I'm like, it always takes like 10, 15 minutes. And sometimes it could even be longer. And I mean, it might seem like a short amount of time, but that's quite a long time, some crucial time right there. And then it also depends, obviously, like what time I'm cruising through this main road right here, and it's all uphill. I like this road though, to be honest. It's like pretty busy road, and I mean, it gets lit up. There's a lot of foot traffic and stuff like that, especially nighttime when all the lights are on and all this. It looks really, really nice, very, very active. It's just, obviously when you're headed somewhere, you need to be somewhere at a certain time or whatever. That's when it gets kind of crazy. You're like, dang, you're just like cruising, from lane to lane to lane until you get ahead. But yeah, I'm at the midpoint right now. I'm almost there. But how are you guys doing? Hope you guys are well. Man, the holidays are already here. We got Thanksgiving already next week. Man, I just trip out how fast this year went. I notice it more whenever I get like a bill or something that's due like annually. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Didn't I just pay this? And then I have to check my records, and then I go, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, that's from last year. Dang, we're already here right now. And a lot of people are going to be traveling, heading out, and a lot are not. We're going to stay local, maybe an hour drive, maybe 30 minutes, or 3 hours. But for the most part, we won't be like flying or anything like that. But then, I understand there's some people that look forward to this time because this is a vacation time, the only opportunity they get to head out, travel, see family or friends, and maybe visit the old neighborhood, things like that. And for those that stay, it's kind of cool because you do have days off, vacation, even if it's just like a couple of days or a few days. Sometimes you might be free to use up some of that time to take advantage of doing some inventory of model kits that you have in the stash. Start looking through all those open boxes, start doing an inventory of what you were working on, what you left off on. It's always cool. I remember back then I always had so many open box projects, in different stages. And sometimes even those kits that I would buy used at the swap meet or at the the hobby shows, and you open them up and you do a little inventory of just that kit itself, and you start to notice things that are missing from it, and then you remember, oh yeah, I remember the guy mentioned, yeah, it doesn't have any glass, this is why it's $5, or oh, it's missing the tires or the wheels, things like that. So looking through everything, it's just a chance to maybe write down some notes, throw a little paper in there, like, oh, this kit needs this, it's missing this. Or also maybe part ways with it, be like, you know what, I don't think I'm gonna be using this kit anymore. I really don't see myself building it anymore whatsoever. So I think it's time part ways with it, but let me put it in a separate stash area, so this way I'm keeping my holy grails, those model kits that might have been $100 or more, or maybe they're vintage kits from the 70s, 80s that you just want to hold on to because they just have a lot of meaning. Maybe that box art, some very really cool retro original box art, is what's keeping you to hold on to these things for a long time and pass them down to your kids. So you got to kind of start looking through all this stuff, like, all right, set aside, what I'm going to keep, what am I really going to build, or maybe, you got to hold on to it and remember, I remember my friend, he said he was looking for this kit, and, I think it's time to bless him with it, or maybe I remember him telling me he wanted to trade, or he always told me, hey, if you ever decide to sell it or whatever, let me know, I'll trade you or buy whatever, things of that sort. Sometimes, there might be someone that you admire their work, you're very talented and stuff like that. You're just like, yo, here, I want to hook you with this kit whenever, do your magic, things like that. Is also kind of a cool thing right there. And when I was starting to get some of the import kits in my collection, obviously the boxes are wider, they're bigger, and the space just shifted. I was so used to just purchasing a lot of AMT Revell kits, which the boxes are a little bit more compact, more of a smaller square shape, versus the import kits, which are a little bit more rectangular, and I always kind of had to have those, in separate piles, so this way, you don't put like a Revell kit, start stacking them in the center area of that rectangular box kit, and you end up, just smashing the plastic in between, So I have stuff separately, and it was just like, it was taking up a lot of space in a lot of different areas. So then I had to buy these like plastic containers that came in really, really handy. I just started kind of putting stuff away in there, in the garage, and in the room, in the closet, just kind of keeping the ones I'm currently working on. So this way, my focus would be more directed towards those, and the others would just be tucked away. I know I have them, but they're not in my mind at the moment. It's mostly this focus, and then once you start getting things out of the way, it'll be like, all right, let me go back and start opening this bin and seeing what else is in there that I need to like continue on, because I was working on it previously. And during this time, in the during the feel of like the holiday season, there's just so many things you can do with scale model building. Whether it's I just want to clean the bench, do an assessment of the tools, maybe start looking at your glues, start saying like, oh man, this glue's on its way out, this one's already really low, maybe it's time to like re-up on glue, or even paint. You start seeing like, man, I'm down to like one bottle of primer, maybe it's time to stock up with like 3 cans or something, just to have on deck for the long haul. It could be anything like that. And at the same time, even like wheels, you start seeing like what kind of wheels you have in the stash, maybe what kind of wheels are available that you need to get, for your projects, whether you're doing like lowriders, customs, or even just like import cars. Just start to see like, what is it that it's missing from there. And I mean, if you're one of those people that just like is always working, very responsible and everything, and this is like the time you get to yourself to work on a model and whatnot, and you're in for the market because you want to make a purchase, whether you want to purchase like some hobby stuff, tools, kits, or even you want to start getting into like 3D printing, and you want to buy a printer, and all that kind of stuff. Like, if it's possible to get that stuff, go for it. Don't feel bad like, oh man, I'm buying this for myself. Like, just look at it as like, this is the stuff that's gonna keep it moving forward. And but like I was saying, you got to handle the priorities first, the responsibilities first, things with the family, your security, whether you pay rent or a mortgage, insurance, all that stuff. Handle all that stuff first, and then, whatever you want to get after that you want to enjoy with, go for it, and because that's what's going to make things like a lot easier during the work process, and it's going to bring a lot of satisfaction at the end when you're completed with your build and seeing that progression right there. You're pretty much investing in yourself, right there, and that's the cool thing about this hobby, like everybody, we're all into different things, and any kind of thing that we get into, we end up spending money into it because we're investing into it. We want to excel, we want to get better. Some people look at it from the outside that are not in it. They might see it as like, oh, that's a waste of money, or like, wait, like, you should do this, or no, don't spend your money. But you also got to understand, like, all right, well, what are you into? What are you spending your money on? You know what I mean? And there could be someone telling you like, oh, don't spend your money, that's a waste of money, don't spend it on that. And then later you find out they have like an alcoholic problem and they're spending all their money on that, or they're into gambling. You know what I mean? And there's nothing to show for with that. It's like, dang, like, and I don't know, like, when you're into something, you know why you're into it. Like with model building, if you've been doing this for so long, I mean, you already know the benefits it's been giving you all these years, and to yourself, and with everything you do in life. It's definitely a discipline, for sure. It's a discipline, because it's you. It's just you. You can't get other friends involved to be like, all right, man, like, I need your help. I know this is what you're good at. This is like your strongest point, and for me, this is like not my strongest, and I'm a little hesitant to take that risk because I don't want to ruin this build. So if you can please help me out, maybe laying out, some intricate waterside decals, or maybe can you lay down this like a nice candy paint job, like, and then hand the baton back to me, because everything's different, like all the time, and sometimes you just like your friend's work, and you kind of, it's like creating a story right there, a storyline within your build. You could always be like, look, I started working on this build, I customized it, I did all this, and then one of my buddies came through, he shot this beautiful candy paint job on this build, or he did some nice fades on here, and then we just wrapped it up, cleared it up, and here it is. So this is like a collaboration between me and my friend right here, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that, it's all good. And honestly, I don't see like there's any rules, like everybody just does what they can, because it's like, you want to get your kids involved, you want to get them into it, start busting out that kit. It's like, I think about my daughter sometimes, like, she's 4, and I'm like already thinking, all right, when's gonna be the cool time to already like introduce her and be like, hey, let's do something fun, like let's build a model, and one of those things where I know she's gonna love it, because in the beginning it's like, all right, cool, we're gonna get this body of this model car, we're gonna get this little, like a little tub, we're gonna fill it up with some water, and like a small amount of like a drop or two of dish soap, right? And we're gonna get these sanding pads here, and I'm gonna have you like go like this back and forth, and for a kid it doesn't matter, what coverage to give it, back and forth, up and down, diagonal, don't matter, and on top of that, when we're using the water, I mean, kids love playing with water, and we're keeping it safe because the dust isn't going to fly anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere because the water is going to absorb it. It's going to stay in the water, So set up the little area right there on the table. Have her sand it down, and then whatever she can, I could picture her just doing the roof and that's it, you know. And then I gotta like come in and help her do the sides and everything, the back, the trunk, the hood. All right, cool. And then you know, we gotta rinse this, dump out that water. Let's rinse your hands, and then you know, have her like dry it with like a little microfiber towel, and to whatever she can. And then at this point, you know, I could either be like, all right, you know what, it probably wouldn't be a good idea to have her primer it, because she's not going to be able to primer it. Her finger is not going to be able to push down on that can, you know. So I'm going to have to most likely just do it myself. Do it up, and then later bring her back again. All right, let's do the sanding of the body and the over the gray primer. Handle that right there. And had to drink some water right there real quick. And so then have her sand that down in water again, so this way, you know, no dust particles are going anywhere, anything like that. And then at this point, you know, I could help her out again. All right, I want to paint it, you know, get a rattle can. What color? Have her choose. What color do you want the car to be? You know, let's just say she picks like purple or something, you know. Paint it real quick, and then bring it back to her. All right, let's now this is like where she could help with the water slide decals, you know, something safe. It's involving water again. Cut out the decals, which ones you want to put on. All right, cool. While I'm here, I'll let you put them on. And you know, to little kids, to them, it's like, oh, these are like little stickers, you know, and they're wet. They just, you know, obviously they're gonna be everywhere, you know, on the roof, maybe on, you know, different areas. And then from there, you know, help them out to clear it. You know, to me, a rattle can, clear it, get it done. And then underneath the body, it would be kind of cool, you know, whether it's in the roof or just somewhere underneath the body, it would be kind of cool. I'm talking about the inside of the body, not the bottom of the belly, like the chassis. So just to get a marker and, like, you know, write the date on there, and maybe, you know, and both names, you know, or something. Have her write her name in there, even if it looks all crazy, right? Write it, and then you write your name, boom, put the date on there. And then when it comes down to, let's say, the interior, right, it could be like, all right, let me just help you by painting a single color on the floor of the interior of the car, maybe the side panels. But now I'm gonna have you get the paint and start with the little paintbrush, detail it, or whatever you want to do, you know. Have them have fun with that, even the engine, you know. And then, you know, start doing some simple assembly, you know. And then once all that's done, have her help like put it all together. Then at the end, it's like, oh, look, we did this together, you know. We have this model together. Get a little box for it so it doesn't get dusty, and just have it on display, you know. And every time she'll look at that model, she'll remember, oh, we did this model, you know. And then obviously as she would get older, it would be more like, all right, cool, let's have you now spray it, you know. And then, oh, let's introduce you to the airbrush now, and all that good stuff. By then it's like, all right, here's your tools, you have your own mask, you know, paint, gloves, whatever, like all that kind of cool stuff that, you know, is gonna teach her steps about it. You know, you got to start from scratch, from the bottom, adding all these things, layering up on the paint and everything to call it done, you know. It can't just be like, oh, it's done. No, like, and patience, right? The patience is going to be the very key right there, because that's the one thing I want her to learn, is to have the patience, and not to be just frustrated when she doesn't get her way, or just frustrated because, like, oh, it's not done. No. Because that right there is going to be good with anything you do. Even to the simplest thing, like when you order something online, when you have patience, if it takes a week or two, you're good with that, as long as you know it's en route, right? But if you have no patience, you might spend more money on impulse of like, oh, I'll pay for the next day air, or expedited this and that, and you're gonna end up spending a lot of money for having no patience, or something goes wrong, and instead of looking for a solution as to like, all right, how can I fix this, taking your time, let me research, you're gonna spend more money of an impulse and being like, oh, I'm just gonna hire someone right now, a 24-hour service to come and fix it like right now. It's gonna be very expensive. So the patience is gonna be the very key thing. That's gonna teach you something. So for her, that'd be kind of cool when I think about it like that. Like, something I'd want to teach her in interaction. And I mean, like next week she has a whole week off of school, and I mean, I'm still gonna work, but I'm only gonna work like a few days, and then I'm off. It's almost like I'm off for like 5 days. Not much going on, and that could be a time when I could even decide, let's do this, let's do it up, right? It could be something like that. But there's always going to be different opportunities to do different things with your kids, and I don't know. That's like something I think about sometimes when I'm thinking like about like getting them more, wanting to get her involved in there. And it's a trip because she'll see me like package up orders and stuff, and sometimes she'll see boxes, and she'll be like, "Oh, look, like you have this." She's already identifying like all those little things with like shipping and whatnot. And sometimes I have her help me, like, "Hey, do you want to help me put this like fragile sticker on the side of the box?" So I'll give her like stickers, and then she'll just start like putting them on the side of the boxes and stuff before I start assembling them. So that's kind of cool, right there. Eventually, as she gets a little older, I'm gonna have to just give her a little job, and she'll be able to help, because and when you own your own business, you can actually give an allowance to your kids as like simple little jobs right there, and you can even write that kind of stuff off too, and they don't even have to pay taxes on that, which is kind of crazy. Once you start going into rabbit holes and start digging into that stuff, you'll start seeing like, oh man, what? Like, damn, I should have done this a long time ago, But yeah, for those of you that are listening to this, maybe you have a business, start looking into that for sure. Like, go down the rabbit hole. You'll be surprised on some of that stuff that you'll be able to find right there that could be beneficial to both of you. So yeah, holidays, they're here. Thanksgiving, and then we got Christmas. Dang, Merry Christmas is coming up next month. That's gonna be kind of wild right there. It's so crazy, man, that's coming up right there. I wonder if we're gonna start seeing those words in the stores now. Merry Christmas instead of Happy Holidays. Because I know whenever I go to a certain store, I'm like, oh, nice. I'm starting to see what we used to see back in the day, or like stuff I used to see growing up. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So that's coming up right there, and just start looking through all your stuff. Start clearing out that inventory, cleaning out stuff. Maybe you have a cup with sanding sticks that you need to get a toothbrush and start, brushing out all the dust that's trapped in there. And at the same time, start at the bottom of that cup. Maybe you have to like tap all that dust out, wet that cup, rinse it out, dry it out, wipe down the bench, get some if you have some like baby wipes or something, those come in handy right there to wipe out on certain edges, places on the bench right there. So this way, don't use like Lysol wipes or anything like that, because you're just gonna end up jacking up your cutting mat or your table right there, but definitely the other ones are a bit more they're not that harsh, but they will wipe down what you need to wipe down, because it's mostly just dust, dude, that's like floating around, nothing too crazy, nothing too major on there. And yeah, man, it's with scale modeling, it's strong. It's so strong right now. It's going strong. It's gonna keep going. Every time I jump on IG, and every time I'm flipping through, like moving up, like all the pictures, right, as they come up, it's nonstop, 24/7 posts of builds, right, and more new accounts coming in. It's hard to keep up with everything that's posted. It's hard to keep up with all the new accounts that are made for modelers that have just decided to join Instagram. A lot of people have been kind of holding back, or they just they've been building for years, and they're like, man, let me start my account and let me start sharing some of my work, some of the stuff I've done, and it's out there, and it's just awesome to see. But just the caliber of work that's out there, it's it's definitely exciting, mind-blowing, but it's starting to become a norm now, and I was thinking about that, like back then, you would see something exciting like once a week or once a month, like something different, someone doing something like next level kind of stuff, and now you're starting to see it like daily, like right now I'm recording this right now, I'm not on Instagram, but let's say by the time I get to my destination, I just jump on Instagram, I'm gonna boom, out of the thousands of followers that I'm following, I'm gonna see like dope. It's just, everything is just so awesome on there, and those are good signs right there of seeing that. It just shows, now with the technology, with the skill set, all the tools, everything that's at the disposal now, everything that's there, it's definitely enhancing and taking everything to that next level for sure. And props to all you guys, man, all you guys. If you're listening to this, props to you, because you're definitely doing something. Every time you're jumping on that bench to do something, you're doing something for yourself right there. You're doing something positive. Even if it's testing you, and you might get mad for a moment, you might say a bad word or whatever, or you might react the way, you're taking it out right there, but at the same time you're acknowledging what you're doing, and then you go, all right, I need to chill, let me come back, let me reset, or you know what, I need to approach this in a different way. Dude, you're doing everything for a positive, right there. You're talking to yourself, you're telling yourself to chill, like, all right, cool. I got to do this right, man. This is a goal. If I get this, oh my God, like, this is all I want to do right now is this, and every time you get to that point and you do it, man, it's like you're adding like little badges of honor to yourself right there, and you're just humbling yourself more and more and more, the more skill sets right there, and man, it's just a good feeling, and it's kind of cool because you don't gotta say nothing. You don't gotta walk around your neighborhood and tell anybody like, yo, I just detailed this engine, you don't gotta say nothing to nobody, right? But you got social media, You got the shows that are coming up every year, your annual shows in your town, and those are the spots where you showcase your skills. You know, those are the platforms where you share what you did. And man, people are watching. People are definitely watching right there. You know, and that right there, it just says a lot of words. You know, just from seeing the caliber of work that you're putting out there into the universe, people are going to be like, man, look at that. Like, that's crazy. And then people just see the progression and they get inspired. Like, man, I want to get on your level. Like, dude, I remember back then, bro. Like, you were seeing your models from then to now. God dang, you're like on a whole nother level, dude. Like, it's crazy. Like, wow. And you start to see, like, man, this person was like on it nonstop. Boom, 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 boom. And they're at that level. You know, I got to get on that regiment. I got to be responsible like that, you know, to myself, to be doing all these like things right there. So, yeah, man, it's like props, you know. Like, even if you feel like, nah, I don't think I am. You know what? It just takes time to jump on that table and be on that model and working on it, you know, and you'll get there. And even just getting the build done, like, even that's a lot, because like having, let's say, you know, knowing like, oh, I could do all this, I know I could create this model and everything, but not ever doing it, you know, that's what sucks. And sometimes I feel like that. I go, dang, like, I haven't been doing like any builds right now, you know. But then again, I go, you know what, I'm trying to find ways to contribute, you know, whether I'm doing like the podcast or just sharing people's work, or, you know, getting products for customers and shipping them out on time and things like that. You know, anything like that, it's like, to me, I feel like, all right, it's like like my way of a contribution, you know, to the community. But I know for sure when you do builds, that speaks more volumes too, you know, because it's just like, it's very inspiring to show right there with what's going on. You know, that's the pretty cool thing right there. Man, there's like no traffic right now. Everything's running pretty smooth right now as I'm speaking. Let me see, I gotta switch a lane though, right here. But man, I hear it's gonna rain. I hear there's supposed to be some type of storm or something coming our way. I was watching this dude's report on X, and he was like posting about how it's gonna start all the way up from like Washington coming down, and yeah, they've been saying there's been like a lot of power outages and stuff like that, and then it's supposed to come down through like Humboldt down to like the Bay Area and more south towards Ventura County, LA, and I think San Diego too. I think it's like the whole west coast of California. So we'll see. I hope it's nothing crazy. I feel bad for, you know, we had some fires recently in Southern California, very close neighboring cities to like Oxnard, like Santa Paula, and it happened in Camarillo. And it's just sad because I feel bad for those people, the homeowners, because it just feels like they just got jacked, you know. It was like a fire with high winds that just started, and in like a day or two, it just burned down like a whole neighborhood, like a whole area. It just took it down, and it just kept going and going, and I don't know, it might have took a week. It's weird because in the beginning it was like nonstop coverage, you know, on X from local people, news sources, like, oh, this is happening, right? And then it was like, you know, 3 days go by, 4 days go by, 5 days go by, and there's no more updates on it. They're not saying how much it's contained. They're not saying nothing no more. No one's covering anything. And you're like, whoa, what's going on? Is it done? And I never heard like no official like, oh, it's done. Like, you know, it was more like, you know, this area got burned down. And that's it. And you're like, what? Like, okay, like, dang, just like that, you know. And yeah, when there's like certain parts of that area, because I commute through some of those areas where it got torched, and I could see in the mountains where it's all like burnt, you know. I don't see the homes though from my view, but I could see like when I'm on the freeway, like all the brush that's all burnt, and I'm like, dang. And like this commute right now, I'm driving. I'm just in the middle of mountains right here. I'm just cruising. There's rocks, there's mountains. Everything's dry. Everything. And these areas, I have seen fires in the past in these areas, driving by and, you know, smelling all that smoke and all that stuff. Very harsh. But I don't know. I just feel bad because I go, dang, like I just came and went, and that's it. And who knows, you know, if those people ever be able to like get that house built back or whatever, you know, who knows? Because a lot of these areas where there's fires, a lot of insurance companies don't even cover them. Like they've already canceled their insurance, got rid of them, and they started getting rid of them, I think early this year, late last year. I heard about it late last year, but this year it took effect. And I guess you got to get insurance from out of state, but still, even I find that kind of fishy. Like, you know, I feel like when it comes down, it's not gonna help. It's not gonna come through. Like, it's always gonna be something. By the way, you know, we can't cover you because of this. And you're like, dang. But I don't know. I think because I'm driving and I'm like kind of looking around and I'm seeing like all these areas, and I'm like, dang, I just had to kind of share that. I mean, some of you guys that listen to this are out here in California, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. But you know, for some of you guys that don't live in California or out of state aren't listening to it, you know, these are or even out of the country, some of the recent events that happened right here. And we'll see what's up with this rain. Hopefully it's nothing too crazy, man. I hope not, because it just sucks. Like, you know, everyone's obviously trying to live life, trying to be cool and move forward, and then you get these setbacks, you know, and you're just like, oh man, then you gotta get back up again and do it up, you know. But what are you guys building? That's what I want to know. What are you building? Instagram, please, if you guys are posting on Instagram, just tag me. That way I can see what you're building. Very very curious, and definitely I'll share that stuff in my stories. I'm always looking out, like, man, what's going on? What's going down? I'm gonna peep out right here. You know, what models, who's building what. And also Black Friday next week, we got a lot of stuff that's gonna be going on sale. And sign up for the emails. Go to our website, scroll down, and you'll be able to see a box where you could subscribe to the emails. Or even if you place, like, you know, your first order, subscribe to the emails. You should be able to like get locked in on there. My goal is to grow that email list right there. You know, you will be getting a lot of emails for sure, you know, so please be aware. If you're into it, sign up. And later I need to find an app. I mean, there's a bunch of them, but I need to find the right one that I want to work with. I'm gonna start also looking into SMS messaging, so I might have some more exclusive stuff through that right there as well. But I would probably, like, I don't know, probably after the Black Friday. But as of right now, you know, I am going to be emailing people that are on the list. Heads up, here's a code. Good for today, good for tomorrow. You know what I mean? Things like that leading up to Black Friday. Because I'm going to tell you this month is already a wrap, right? We just got 1 week and that's it. And then we got December. So as of right now, even I haven't been buying anything. You know, I stopped buying product because my goal is to try to sell out as much product as I have in the site right now. Get all that stuff out. I'm going to make my purchases until January. Okay? And I'm going to tell you why. A lot of businesses won't talk about this. A lot of businesses won't tell you about this. But when I tell you, it's going to make sense. And it's going to make sense with the retail industry and all that stuff. And at the same time, you know, maybe some of you guys do already know this because maybe you do work in the retail business and all that good stuff. But if you have any other info, please let me know because I'm always wanting to learn new stuff, right? So basically, you know, third quarter of the year, you know, October, November, December, right? The last 3 months of the year. And there's a lot of companies that, you know, they'll make purchases in the third quarter to receive them into the fourth, and then that's it, right? But in this fourth quarter, October, November, December, it all just depends what it is and what industry, right? But if you're like a brick and mortar retail store, maybe even online, and you know, you got stuff that's on the shelf, you know, stuff that's had a longer shelf life, and you need to get it out. I mean, there's really no purpose of restocking it if it hasn't even sold out, right? But if it's obviously constant things that are constantly selling out like crazy all the time, then yeah, you're gonna keep bringing more and more stuff in, right, to keep up with the demand. But if it's something that it's like it's gone, I mean, your plan to make future purchases, you're gonna hold off till January. You're not gonna do it in December and like buy stuff in December and hold on to it to want to oh dang, you hear that? That's my car telling me to brake, but I already stopped. Why do I keep going? Because everybody's like stopping. So damn, it almost sounded like I was on a Tomcat or like on a on a jet, right? And I got locked in. I was about to press the button. We were about to, you know, we were locked in. No, I'm joking. But anyway, so December, you don't want to make no purchases or nothing like that, right? And I'm going to tell you why right now. All right? The big secret. It's not no big secret. So pretty much when you buy inventory, let's say you buy, let's simplify it, 10 units, right? You got the whole year to sell these 10 units, right? Or a month or whatever. So let's say it takes you a year to sell 10 units. And out of the 10 units, you sell 5 of the units, right? So the other 5 that you're left with, when the year ends, when you go and do your taxes, you know, you have to report, all right, these are my total gross sales. I sold 5. This is how much money I made. All right, cool. So, you know, everything's calculated on how much money you earned and expenses, right? Expenses could be like the, you know, the printing machine to print the labels, the pens, the markers, all these little things, right, that makes the whole thing work, right? Your Shopify subscription, your weekly subscription, advertisements, all these things, right? Expenses. So now, right there is going to calculate how much you're going to owe in taxes. But, oh, wait a minute. You were left with 5 units. You didn't sell 5 units. You were stuck with those 5 units. So now we have to tax you on those 5 units. So how many? 5? All right, so let's write down 5. What's the value of them? Oh, well, they're valued at this much. All right. Like how much did you pay cost of value, right? Not the overall, like, but like how much you got them at wholesale. All right, 5 of them. So that times 5. All right, so now we got to throw that into the equation, right? So at the end, you're like, dang, like I'm going to have to pay more in taxes because I was left over with product. And then that's when you get a little suspect and you go, oh, wait a minute. This doesn't make sense. This doesn't seem right. I feel like I'm just being ripped off right here. So you're telling me I'm going to get taxed for making money and I'm also going to get taxed for leftover inventory. That doesn't make sense. But that's the way it is in a retail business of tangible things, right? That doesn't apply to food. It doesn't apply anything that's perishable. It does not apply because it's perishable. You just don't have that tangible item anymore. It has a shelf life, and then it's done and it's gone. So it's a non-inventory item, right? With non-inventory items that have shelf life of like a day or 2, and that die or that need to be thrown away, those things, pretty much. You just report your total sales and expenses, and that's it. That's that equation. But this other equation, that third element, is what complicates things, right? So think about this. All right, you go to the stores, you go shopping, and the first quarter, January, February, March, you go shopping for clothes. You notice it's a certain type of clothes, right? They might be selling some sweaters. They might be selling more jeans, whatever, because usually it rains. It's cold around the beginning of the year still. It's like, part of winter or whatever, ending from December. And then once, the next quarter is going to come in. Well, is it spring? Like April? No. Oh, so it's January, February, March. Yeah. April, May, June. So now things change. Now it's like all this stuff's on sale from the 3 months. We need to get rid of this stuff, right? We need it. This stuff needs to leave. So stuff starts to get clearance. Stuff starts to get put on sale, and whatever's left over that nobody bought, it still gets sold into other markets, where it starts to, it just gets out of the store, but they're still obviously getting rid of it, right? Whether it's going to like a Ross or, another kind of market like that. And then the next stuff, the new stuff comes in, boom, 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 boom. Let's get our sales. All right, let's phase it out. Let's put it all on sale. Boom, let's get rid of it. Now it's summer. Now all the summer stuff's in. All right, we got to phase it out, and so forth and so forth, right? Right now, with this of Black Friday sales, Cyber Monday, and Christmas, for retail business, this is like the Hail Mary right here, the Hail Mary pass, right? This is like if you're really trying to get rid of stuff because you don't want to get hit with the tax or whatever, this is the opportunity to try to get stuff out, right? And a lot of people that are in the know this, and they're not going to tell you this, right? I'm telling you it right now. It's probably the first time you're probably hearing about this. If you had no idea about this, probably the first time you're hearing it. And I'm telling you, and that's just the way it is. It works that way. Some people might look at it and be like, oh no, like that. No. Look into it, and that's the way. And if you're in the retail business, and if you never had to do that, then I don't know. Just be careful, because down the road, that could surface, and you're gonna be like, fuck, I should have been, on it, you know, and you don't want to be, how they say, caught with your pants down. You know what I mean? Like, nah, like, you got to be careful. So, you know, for me, I was like looking at it. I was like, all right, imagine if I do a huge purchase in December, right? Spend money to invest it in a product, and all these units show up, and then I can't even get rid of them because of the timing. The timing's so short. I can't get rid of them in a month, right? Now, or let's say you order a bunch of stuff and it shows up the last week of December before the year ends. Dang, that would be like shooting yourself in the foot. Now you have thousands of units you need to sell, which is probably going to be impossible. Now you're going to get taxed on thousands of units that you never had the opportunity to sell until the beginning of the year. So it's not worth it. And you'll notice it on a lot of places too. They're not going to be restocking anytime soon. This is a time when businesses move, when they make big changes, when they want to shut down shop, when they want to do, you know, as much as they can, right? This is the time, right? It's like struggling businesses that were just struggling, bro, like struggling bad, like, you know, and then, like, let's say struggling before 2020, right? Whether it was a restaurant, wherever, you know, retail, whatever, and then the pandemic, you know, oh, we're gonna close. That right there was like, oh, cool. This is an excuse. This is what a good way to go out right here. Boom. This is what caused it, right? But knowing that it wasn't even the cause, right? It was just the business model wasn't working anymore. But hey, cool. We just say it was a pandemic. All right, boom. With the pandemic, not even like just the beginning of the year, right? And then there could be businesses that during the pandemic, yeah, it did affect them, right? Because they're like, damn, we're closed. They're closed, and it's like we had to close down like a year after, like the next year or two. We hung on as much as we could, and then we closed down, you know. And it's a trip. Like, shutting down a business is expensive too. It's not cheap. It's not just, oh, we're shutting down and that's it. A lot of the times you have to hire like an attorney to shut it down for you, you know, and that's all they dedicate themselves is to shutting down, because they got to make sure everything is shut down. Or you got to hire a specific company that creates corporations and also shuts down corporations. So everything is shut down completely with the state, and you don't run into no issues where, let's say you shut it down, but then like a year, 2 years later, you're hit with a bill of like, hey, like, yeah, you haven't been operating, but you're still registered. You still have fees you have to pay with us, with the state. You haven't shut this down, you know. So you have to like be careful of all these things, right? You got to be very, very aware when you're doing things the right way. You know, you gotta, if you're doing them the right way to start, you got to do them the right way to stop and end. You know, and like in the retail world, you know, we got Black Friday that's coming up, and it's great. It's a great time to like, you know, sell items, promote, get stuff out that you wanted to get out of the store, and you know, get new stuff in. For myself, you know, as also a customer to stores and to things, you know, I've fallen into those hooks, or like been baited to things where I go, oh, dope, they're gonna have a crazy sale, I'm gonna show up. You show up, and then they're like, oh, it's all sold out. But then you find out, oh, they only had 1 unit or 2 units for everybody, and it was just the I got baited in to be in here, and then next thing you know, I'm walking around with a different product to buy that I wasn't intending to buy originally, you know. That happens too, but it's kind of whack. It sucks when stuff like that happens, you know. And I don't know, I'm kind of more like with my store, I'm like, yo, like this is on sale. And I've done it in the past where I go, you know what, everything's on sale. Even stuff that never goes on sale, that sometimes I go, man, I wonder if I'll get in trouble for putting this on sale, you know? But I'll still put it on sale, you know? And it's like, some of that right there, it's like hooking you guys up too, you know? Because, you know, there's a lot of competition out there, you know? I know I'm not the only one in the U.S. selling what I sell. Like, there's tons of stores online, physical brick and mortar stores in the U.S. There's tons of competition. Overseas, you know? Europe, Asia, everywhere. There's people for everybody, right? And, you know, for my customers that buy from me and stuff like that, like, to me, it's like, yo, I want to take care of you, you know? You've been, you know, helping me out throughout the year, buying all this stuff, keeping me in business, you know, keeping the lights on and everything, that when it comes to, like, these kind of holidays, it's like, all right, cool, you know, I want to hook you up so this way you get something that you've been waiting on, that maybe you've been waiting on it because you don't want to pay full price. You want to get it on sale price. And also it's something that I need to get out of my store too, you know, because I'm trying to avoid that hit that I was talking about, right, at the end of the year. And right there, it's a win-win, like, for both, you know what I mean? But here's the catch. Like, those that have signed up for my email list right now are the ones taking advantage of these sales right now before even the Black Friday. So a lot of them are clearing out a lot of stuff that I have. Since, like I said, I have no plans of restocking anything right now. Right now, the stuff that's there is what's just available. So, like, if there's a kit or a tool or whatever that you want and you want to get it on sale, and you're signed up for the emails, and if you're not signed up, because you're going to get that email with the code for different things that are going to be coming up, and when you get that, you're going to be like, oh man, let me grab it now, because once it's out of stock, it's not going to come in anytime soon. You know, it's going to be a while. You know, I'm going to make my purchasing in January, but that stuff might not come in till the end of January or February. You know, it takes time, because sometimes, not all, but some of the vendors take forever to pack stuff and ship it out. It's like, I don't know if they're busy or they're just, you know, they're just like, whatever. They work at their speed. You know what I mean? But that might take a while too. So, like I said, if there's something in particular, or if you've been eyeing a kit from the site and there's only one left, I would recommend, if you really want it and you want to save some money, just grab it, because, you know, you'll definitely be helping me out, helping you out, and, you know, because you got it for a cheaper price. And then also take advantage of the free shipping. If you spend, you know, anything above $100, it's free shipping right there. So, you know, the more you spend, free shipping, and you're gonna get that discount right there. It's gonna knock it down, and at the end, there are gonna be some items you're gonna be like, damn, it's like I got this for free, pretty much, you know. So yeah, you know, those are the mentions I wanted to do right there regarding that with the whole Black Friday thing. Here, let me take a sip real quick. Dang. All right. So, and like I said before, no, I'm not shutting down. It's nothing like that. It's just, you know, man, that reminds me right now, we're already coming up on an anniversary too of the online store. The online store is going to be 4 years old. Wow. Since it started. It started in, I want to say, December 2nd of 2020. The end, like, towards the end of the year, you know. And from then on to now, we're here. And obviously, lots of changes in the store, stuff like that. And there's going to continue to be more changes because, you know, there needs to be more changes in order to move forward. You know, it can't just stay the same and all that. There has to be some changes. So there's some stuff that's going to come in. It's going to go. What works stays, and what doesn't work has got to go. You know. So I'll leave you guys with that right there. I'm going to head out. I'm already pretty much here. Dang, 1 hour episode right there. Freestyle, the whole thing. I hope you guys are good. Stay safe. If you're in Northern California, or those of you that are listening to it or watching, just try to stay safe. This storm's coming. Power is out, you know, and everything. You know, you got a family and everything. I hope you're prepared. You know, have candles, have flashlights, have lighters, have all that kind of good stuff. Those things come in handy, you know, for when situations like this happen. Maybe have some of those, what is it, like, you know, like those extra, like battery chargers, phone charger things that you power up and then you can power into your phone, just so at least you have some type of power or whatever. But just be safe as much as you can. And all you guys, keep on building. Take care. Build your legacy. Remember that. Build your legacy. All right. Peace out. 65 Logs out.